All right, my amazing people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone or where you're watching me from currently. All right, it's Mr. Egwatib Daniel here, and I want to share with all something very, very important. I believe it's something we all might or will like to hear. All right, and it's actually in regards to the post I made a few days ago on Facebook, and the post where I shared a video when I took some people to allocate them their plots which they bought from one of my properties. Okay, so a parent taught me a lesson there. I was never thinking of this. It's far back 2019. All right, my mind never crossed this as a reason why someone can actually buy property. So it's that thought was forward thinking for me. Which is a parent. I was asking him why he thought of buying the property. All right, because whenever a client contact me to buy property, there are a few questions I ask. One of the question is your purpose of buying the property, because that will help me in helping you get the best of what you are looking for to make an informed decision. All right. So he said he's buying it because it's quite affordable now. I think we're selling the property 600,000 as of then. Okay, so his goal is that this girl is 5 years old, and before she gets to 18 years or the age of entering a tertiary institute, I want to take her to the best university of her time, and I don't want to stress myself doing this at that time. So the best I can do is to buy this property. She will be growing alongside with the property, or better still, the property will be developing in value alongside with her growth. I will get to that option. Okay, but this is something I grasped and very, very educative for me far back 2019, and I started taking steps towards that. So I made a post. I will leave in the comments or in the description part of this video. I will leave the link of the post so you can go view it for yourself, or maybe I will attach it to this video so you can actually have a view of that particular video I posted when I took the facade inspection. How are you, my dear? So you're excited to have a plot of land here? Yeah? So you own a plot here? Like seriously? I said thank you, daddy. Yeah, that's wonderful. So you can see this action block. Okay, so after I made that post a couple of days ago, a couple reached out to me and they asked, Mr. Ibuka, we watched your video on Facebook. It's quite educating and we appreciate you for that. It has opened our eye to so many things we are never thinking of. So we are thinking of buying 2 plots of land for our 2 children. All right. So what will you advise? What are the first steps we should take? What are the things we should look at or consider before making this investment and the likes? Okay. I have to answer them, and a couple of the questions I answers I gave them is what I want to share with all of us here, because I believe since someone can actually think of asking that question, I believe a couple of us here, both parents and intending parents, might want to also have that answer. You understand? Even though they've not communicated me to ask those questions, but I believe so many of us in the public might need this, so that's why I'm bringing it public. All right, so number one thing I told them is location. Okay, because it's normal to me, just like I mentioned earlier, whenever you want to buy a property, I ask you questions, and from that questions it will give me a very good sense of judgment what you really want, you understand, and what will be best for you. Then I can make a proper decision on guiding you to achieve that. Okay, so location. Every one of us knows that anything that has to do with real estate, property acquisition, has everything to do with location. Yes. Now the reason why I mention location, which is the first thing and very, very important in your decision making when buying a property, is because look at their intent of buying the property. They want to buy an affordable property, all right, that is in a prospective location. Okay, so this location has the potential of appreciating over time. Okay, now remember their goal is to send the girl to the best university of her time, and we are talking about millions. You understand? Let's just be real. Okay, I'll be mentioning, I'll be coming out real here. You're coming out millions. So you're looking at a property that you will buy affordably, and in the next 18, 15, 10, 13 years' time, it's worth multiple millions that you can take this young girl to any university of her time. So now you don't just go anywhere to buy land when you have this goal. All right, you don't just go anywhere to buy land and say, okay, because this place is affordable inside my village, or this place is affordable in this local area, I can now jump into buying property there. No, you have to also consider so many things, which are the landmarks, government presence, commercialization of that particular location. There are so many factors. I wouldn't want to dive deep into that because that's not my focus today. I will do a comprehensive video on that. All right, so these are the things you look out to make sure that your property is in that right location, okay, that has that potential to appreciate, not just appreciating, but appreciating, high appreciation. You understand? Rapid appreciation over time that will meet that your goal. So first thing I will ask you to consider when making this decision is the location. All right, location is very, very paramount. Now the next thing I will want you to do, which is number two, is research and due diligence. I don't know, this is something we are all familiar with. Okay, due diligence, due diligence, due diligence. I don't know why people buy property out of emotion. I don't know why people buy property out of because I know this person, I know that person. I've seen scenarios, as so people have brought so many stories in my office, the issue, the problem they had before, now before they now came in contact with us, and then we bought properties from us, at which they are enjoying peace of mind till date. But the thing is this: you don't just buy property. A property is not something, I don't know. It's not shoe. It's not bag that you buy and from maybe online platform, and then how will I put it now, and then tomorrow you say I don't like this. Okay, because the money is too tiny. Let me just people that are in. You have a very so okay. Look at this example, which is the reason why they are buying. They are buying because of their daughter's education. All right, this is the reason. It is very, very critical. It is not where you don't jump out in making decision. No, you have to be very, very careful. All right, you have to do your due diligence. The property you are buying, one, the source. Who are these people selling this property to you? That is number one thing. What is their track record? What have they done over the years? What is their reputation? You understand? Am I buying from a real estate company? Am I buying from a family or individual? You understand? These are the things you factor in. Then the area of documentation of that land. What are the titles on that land? You understand? You take it up to do due diligence. Engage your surveyor to chart the cost of that land. Know whatever that is an issue on that land. If it is under government acquisition, or if there is any issue revolving around that land. You understand? Then at the end of the day, even if you buy the land, you do your due diligence. Document those processes. Make sure you get your lawyer to draft the deed of assignment. There are so many things to do. You understand? So many things to do. But the goal of my point in number two is research. The research. Don't be lazy about that. I believe the money you are using to buy, it's your hard-earned money. So don't be lazy about your due diligence. Research all these things. Ask questions. All right, it's very, very important before diving into buying that particular property, no matter how good it's sounding. They say all that glitters are not good. All right, no matter how good it, do your due diligence. Don't say because I know this person. Let me tell you the truth. Somebody might be referring you to buy something. All right, it's not their fault, because they thought it's good for their own self. They thought it is right. They thought that is the best option, and they recommend that for you. Don't just jump into that because you have a level of relationship with that person. Now, still take that responsibility of doing your due diligence. Don't say because some of them might not pay attention on something, and at the end of the year, yes, I've fallen victim of this, but not in the area of property. You understand? You are accepting to do something because of this person's judgment, and at the end of the day, something happened along the line, and the person will open his eye or her eye like that and say, sorry, I never knew this like this, so and that. You understand? We've seen scenarios like this. So you have to do your due diligence, you have to do the research. It is very, very important. Then number three thing I want to dive into is, sorry, I don't want this video to be very long, but I'll try as possible as I can to make it very short and concise. Okay, so number three is financial planning. Okay, now when they met me, I asked them, which is one of the questions I asked, what is your budget? All right, so we can work with your budget. So they mentioned that, okay, we are looking at something within 400, 500 to 600,000. That's their maximum budget. That very year, 2019, they say their maximum budget is 600,000. Okay, now they're looking for property within the range of 600,000 that is very prospective in a good location that will grow and appreciate over time alongside with your child, that at the time their child will be ready to enter tertiary institute, the land must be valued enough to worth millions of naira that can send the child to the best university of our time. So now financial planning comes into play. You understand? They don't just jump into what they can't afford. You look at it now, they don't just jump into, they thank God for the kind of person they meet that asks them some detailed question. You understand? An important question. All right, so knowing their budget, so they don't just jump into what they, I can't so I wouldn't just go and recommend something I know that would be hard for them to, even though that might also be projecting what their goal is. You understand? But within their budget, it might not. We have properties that are more than that, but because of that question, I was able to tailor it down to their budget. Look at property that will still give them that particular thing they want over time without them having to stress themselves to pay for the land. All right, so now that is where planning comes to play. Financial planning, it is very, very important. You don't take this for jokes. You don't just jump into, no matter how exciting, no matter how good the property is, you don't just jump into it if you don't have a very detailed and constructive financial planning around it that will not be inconveniencing for you. Now, when I'm talking about inconveniencing, yes, people can go out of their way to achieve their goals, yes, but I mean something that wouldn't, how will I put it now? Something that wouldn't squeeze you and dry you, that nothing is even coming out of you again. No, it's not good. You have to create something that will be very, at least conducive for you to do over time. I've had a particular client that called me some time ago from Sweden. She told me that she wants to buy a particular property. It's quite affordable that year, that she wants to buy 8 plots. All right. Now, but Mr. Ebuka, please, I want to pay it comfortably. This is how you come up. You just come up. Be honest with yourself. I want to pay this. I want to pay for this land within this so amount of months. It will be convenient for me. I don't want to rush it. I want to. She has actually bought some property she bought outrightly and the likes, but this particular one, because of the number of properties she wants to buy, she said, I want to buy it comfortably. You understand? Don't want to stress myself, and I don't want to miss out on this opportunity. So now we discussed on that, and I gave her a payment plan that is very convenient for her, and she's happy paying for the land. You understand? So this is how you plan yourself financially. You don't just jump into property and like, have that planning. Okay, what I can afford to buy is within this range comfortably. Now, if it's something you need to negotiate and pick up a payment plan, you negotiate with that company, you negotiate with that realtor and pick up a payment plan that will be convenient for you. That okay, within this okay, within 3 months, within 6 months, I can be able to pay off this land, and at the end of the day, I've achieved my goal of owning a property for or buying a property for my children, and then at the same time the other goal is also achieved, which is appreciation along the line. Okay, another thing I want to run into again is number four, which is long-term investment. All right, now they understand what they want. I also understand what they want. All right, because they were honest enough to tell me what they really want. Okay, so they want a long-term investment now, which is buying property. This is a property they want to live over the years, nothing less than 10 years. All right, so now it's a long-term investment. So they understand that okay, this thing is not something I will wake up tomorrow and say that I want to go and sell. No, the goal will not be achieved, even though it's appreciating. You can't just buy that and say, okay, in the next 2 years you want to go and sell it off. No, you've actually killed the goal. So the purpose of buying is for long term. They know that, okay, we are buying this thing. It's just like we already understand what land banking is. And for some of us that doesn't know, I will maybe try to leave a link if possible. But I believe everybody understand land banking as at now, based on information I've been flying around the internet. All right, so now it's just like land banking. They say, okay, instead of us leaving this 600,000 naira in the bank, we know that we might end up eating it up. You understand? Or we might end up, even if we decide to leave it within that period of time, bank will not give us a very good interest rate. All right, over that period of time, all of us understand this. So the best thing they can do is, okay, let's invest on this property and leave it for a long term. We know of a certainty that if we get a prospective location, you understand, that has potential for appreciation, rapid growth, that will be able to maximize a higher return on investment. All right, so the thought of long term, you understand. So when they thought of this, they now said, okay, our budget is within this, and we believe that if we get the right place, that the right location, you understand, and do our due diligence, then with this our perfect planning of the on budgeting, we believe that over this period of years, that this property will appreciate and give us that particular um, 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 or make us achieve that particular goal we set out. All right, so long-term investment. So you have to think of long-term investment if you are considering buying property for your children. You understand? The reason why you are thinking long term is because you want to buy them affordably. You understand, and wait for it to appreciate over the years. So except you want to buy property in a high profile location, a developed location, at that is quite more I don't know if that's your budget then, but I will always advise, if you're buying for your children, better to buy all those prospective property in a good location, prospective locations with potential of growth. You understand, where the government is going, all right, where things are developing. You understand, not yet developed, but at least very strong landmarks are springing up in that location. All right, so that is what I will advise, and long term is the best when it comes to this. All right, because you don't have to struggle to make those, to buy the land because of this affordability, and then you wouldn't you will have to eat the dividends thereof. You understand, and smile at the end of the day. So the last and the fifth thing I told them to consider is the educational planning. You understand. So now every parent have their goal. Now these parents, their goal is that they want to send their child to the best university of her time. All right, so now, and just like I said earlier, that means it will worth millions of naira. Okay, so now they have that structural planning, educational planning for their daughter. So we don't just want this child to go to any university. We don't just want this child to just struggle when she finally enters tertiary institute. Okay, how do we structure this our child education? You understand? So that gave birth to whatever they started, which are some of the things I considered when I was talking about option one, which is the location excuse me, selection, the due diligence, then number two, then number three, financial planning, and the long-term investment, which is number four. All right, so the educational planning, all of these things was factored into the baby's educational. Okay, look at the kind of university we are looking at for this child. Maybe in the next 10, 13, 15, there might be another university that might come up or spring up that might be the best of that particular time. But whichever it is, you already know that we are investing in a property that we sort out whatever financial support we need to give this young girl to go to that best university. So they have already designed and structured that plan. So you don't wait to buy property first before you start planning this. No, you have to consider it, factor it in some of the things you are considering in your decision making of buying that property. You already structure, okay, I want my child to go to this university. Is it in Nigeria? Is it in abroad? Wherever it is, you already know, okay, based on what I know about the school now, that if the school is yet existing, this is what it takes to go to this school. Okay, now if this is what it takes, then let's now calculate and pay attention to how we can actually make sure that we are buying a property that can be appreciating alongside with that. Yes, in the next 10 years it might not be the same rate, but remember your land is also appreciating alongside with that same years. You understand? So that's the amazing thing about that. So you have to calculate and plan this very well, the educational planning of your children. Don't just jump into it. Know the exact kind of school you want them to go. All right, know the exact kind of and what it takes to go to that school. You understand? So you start putting those things together. If it is abroad, if there is need for paperwork and all manner, you start paying and getting to know some of the things it takes for one to go to that particular school. You understand? So that is where the educational planning comes into play. I know majorly it might not be factored into reasons to buy land and likes, but based on this particular topic, so to say, you understand, it needed to be factored in because these are the things that will help you in your decision making when buying the kind of property you want to buy. All right, so these are the 5 things I give these parents, and I believe you listening to me must have grabbed 1 or 2 things. You understand that you will say, okay, I think I know these things, I know this one, but at least I think this one is what I pick out of this. All right, so thank you all for being here. I would have done a live video, but because of the things I don't know how to say it, but I thought this video would be much more better, and I also wanted to attach the video of that particular post I made that made the couple call me. All right, so you can also have, for some of us that might not go about searching out the post. Okay, and I will also leave the link below. Okay, so you can have a read some of the few things I wrote about that particular post. All right, maybe you also as a parent or intending parent or a youth, a young man or woman out there, you don't need to wait until you become a parent before you start doing that. As a matter of fact, I got this information when I'm yet to marry, okay, and I started taking steps. I don't need to wait for when I start giving birth before I will start there. I started taking steps that particular time. I learned that lesson. All right, so you also might want to do that. Okay, so and I believe that will help you so much. Thank you so much for being here with me, and remember, I'm always here to guide you through the process of making your home ownership and um, investment opportunity a reality. All right, so feel free to reach out to me, ask whatever question you want to ask, okay, and then I will guide you through the process of making this your journey seamless and easy to achieve. Thank you so much. See you some other time. Stay blessed.